Good evening. I am back. Woo, we are back. All right. Before we even get into this, let me just get into my intro. Let me just get into my intro.
Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Some breaking news tonight about actor Jonathan Majors. Marvel Studios just dropped the once rising star after a jury in New York found him guilty of assaulting and harassing his ex-girlfriend. Marvel was building a movie franchise around Majors before his arrest in March. CBS's Drika Duncan was in court today for the verdict.
Tonight, Jonathan Majors walked out of court with heavy security after being found guilty of assault and harassment. He was acquitted of 2 other charges that required prosecutors to show Majors intentionally committed those acts.
Do you think your son got a fair trial?
The 34-year-old star has dimmed since he was arrested in March after a fight with his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. He played roles in Marvel films and Creed 3, but it was his performance in the TV series Lovecraft Country that made Hollywood take notice. During deliberations, the jury asked to rewatch surveillance video from the incident in slow motion, where it appears Majors shoves Jabari into a black Escalade. Another video shows Jabari running after Majors following the incident. He testified she grabbed Majors' phone after seeing a text message from another woman. In a criminal complaint, Jabari accused Majors of assaulting her, leaving a cut behind her ear and fracturing her finger. CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman.
That Jonathan Majors did not intend to cause any physical harm to this woman. But what Jonathan Majors did, by virtue simply of his actions, his size, his strength, was create a substantial risk of physical injury.
Majors and his family did not speak to the media as they left the court today. Grace Jabari, who was not in the courtroom when the verdict was read, did release a statement saying she was, quote, gratified to see justice served. Majors faces up to a year behind bars, nor he is scheduled to be sentenced on February 6th.
Drika Duncan, thank you.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Some breaking news tonight about actor Jonathan.
Okay, some things I want to talk about though. Some things I want to talk about. Let's talk about it, right? One thing that I do want to highlight before I give my opinion. Let me go ahead and share it. Because I think this is really important. Because I don't think Black people understand that there is a difference between white culture and Black culture. The expectations and the cultural norms are different. They're so different. And they take mental health very seriously. They take mental abuse very seriously. They take psychological abuse very seriously. We do not. We do not take it seriously at all. To be fair, we were never really given the privilege or the opportunity to take emotional and psychological abuse seriously. We were born into racism. We were born into a world that does not like us because of our skin. So the emotional and psychological abuse that we experience on the daily is desensitized It is desensitized. So you have to understand that if you're going to go out here and you're going to date out of your race, because I'm not here to talk anyone out of doing what truly makes them happy. You have to understand the drastic difference in the dynamics within your culture versus their culture. And they take emotional abuse and psychological abuse just as serious as they take physical abuse. It's not this or that. It's not one or the other. They literally look at it the same. Okay. So I just need Black people to understand that. And unfortunately, you are desensitized to emotional and psychological abuse. You were born into emotional and psychological abuse. So to be fair, you were never really given a chance to be sensitive or to not be desensitized when it comes to psychological and emotional abuse, because you've been experiencing it your entire life. So I just wanted to make that known. So one thing that I want to point out is what the DA's office, the district attorney's office, Alvin Bragg, what he decided to release to the public. Okay. So it states here at the Manhattan's DA's office, we are committed to centering survivors in all of our work. The evidence presented throughout this trial illustrated a cycle of psychological and emotional abuse and an escalating patterns of coercion far too common across the many intimate partner violence cases we see each and every day. So I feel like that's important. That's what they decided to release to the public. So that tells me that they decided to focus on the patterns and the cycles within their relationship dynamic. And they felt like, okay, we have to hold him accountable. Now, how we hold people accountable in our culture is not how they hold people accountable in their culture. And I heard that the jury was mainly white folks. That's what I heard. I couldn't confirm because I haven't seen any photos or a list of the names that were on the jury. So I don't even know what that looks like, but that's what I heard. I heard that majority of them were white. A lot of people, Black people are trying to run with this. Oh, it's the classic Black man and white woman. I'm not really seeing that. I'm seeing the difference between cultures coming together and the norms being different. We grew up watching shows like Baby Boy, where Yvette, she gets roughed up. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to see Yvette get roughed up, right? She a Black woman. She can handle it. And I find it interesting because we are constantly, as a Black woman myself, Black women all over the world, step forward. We are constantly told that we are not feminine enough. We are not feminine enough. We're not soft enough. We're not these things, right? And so you have a culture that's white that prioritizes the femininity of the women within the culture that's born into the culture, and they take emotional and psychological abuse seriously. We do not. And yet people question why. I don't understand why Black women are not feminine. Why are they not soft? We don't even acknowledge emotional trauma. We don't acknowledge the psychological effects that it has on us as women. We can get to the men and how it affects them, but what about how it affects us? So you have two cultures coming together, trying to hold either party accountable for the situation at hand. And this culture, okay, is at the very top of the pyramid. Black culture is at the very bottom of the pyramid. And so they had more say-so in the situation than we have, because our cultures are just not the same. And how we view things is not how they view things. So they take emotional and psychological abuse very, very seriously. We do not. Okay. And the reason why I wanted to point that out is because Black people are just overlooking the fact that Jonathan Majors said that he threatened to unalive himself as a way to gain control over his partner. That's not normal. That's not sane. It's not normal. It's not sane. that tells me that he is mentally unstable. So if he's going around saying that he will unalive himself to gain control over another person, what else is he out here doing? Because a mentally sane person doesn't threaten to unalive themselves to manipulate and gain control over another person. Then everyone wants to focus on this video of her chasing him down the street, but no one wants to acknowledge the fact that he had her phone. He had her phone. We live in the 21st century. When you don't have your phone, you are screwed. Like, you are really screwed. You could be the type of person where you carry your cards on your phone. So how you pay to get around, it's on your phone. We don't know this girl and her situation. We have no idea what this girl and her situation was when it came to her phone. But let's be clear. He got caught texting another woman while in a relationship. And he decided to, I don't know, rough her up a bit, like Yvette from Baby Boy, right? Rough her up a little bit, take her phone and run down the street. This is not like, that's not a black woman that you're dealing with. That's a white woman that you're dealing with. And she doesn't come up in a culture where that's normal to her. That's abuse to her. Roughing her up and being emotionally and psychologically abusive, that's not normal to her. It's normal to black women, but that's not normal to her. And I also find it interesting because in the chat, the girls already got started before the live even started. And I saw the comment. I'm not sure who made the comment, but there was a black woman in the chat. She wanted to know, why do black men always run to us when they find themselves in this situation? They're not doing it out of love and respect for black women. They're doing it because they need someone that relates to them, their plight, and their situation. They need someone that will understand without explanation. So instead of him running out and getting a white woman to be by his side during this trial, he had to get a sister. He had to get a sister that just understood his position and his situation. The reason why I don't feel bad when it comes to Jonathan Majors being in this situation, he clearly understood that this girl was a liability. You have to sit a grown 30-plus-year-old woman down and explain to her that her behavior is unacceptable. And then you have to psychologically abuse her and say things like, I need you to be more like Coretta Scott King. I need you to be more like Michelle Obama. Instead of just sitting her down. And that's the cultural difference. That, see, what you do to white women, no, what you do to black women is not going to fly with white women and non-black women. You can't constantly compare them to other women and you think that they're just going to sit there and take it. That's emotional abuse. That's psychological abuse. So when she recorded that, she grew up in a white culture where they prioritize mental health. They are educated and self-aware on what psychological abuse is. For the most part, they are aware of what that looks like. So you're sitting up here comparing her to other women and telling her that this is how she needs to carry herself. This is how she needs to portray herself. Instead of just saying, hey, babe, your behavior, can we talk about it? The drinking, like, there's nothing wrong with holding her accountable, but you could use basic characteristics as examples for how she needed to carry herself outside of comparing her to another woman or to other women. That is emotional abuse. That's not normal. It's not normal to sit up there and compare another person, a person to another person and tell them you need to be more like that. So Black people are overlooking all of that because they have been desensitized. They have been desensitized on what psychological and emotional abuse is. But white people are not desensitized. White people actually have the privilege. I'm just being honest. They have the privilege in this country to prioritize their mental health. We not so much. We're trying to get there though. Black people, we trying. I mean, we trying. Outside of social media and these celebrities being a mess, we are trying. Like, there are more Black people in therapy than I think has ever been in therapy, okay? But you got to be real that their culture has the privilege to prioritize their mental health. And so how they classify emotional abuse and psychological abuse is completely different from how our culture classifies it. I just feel like we need to make that known. And that's why if you go see a therapist, you probably should pick somebody that's Black. because they're gonna get it. There's no explanation. That's why Jonathan Majors was out here running to a black woman, running to a sister that couldn't save him because he was in fact abusive in the situation. It was just psychological. It was just emotional. And black people dismiss that because we are desensitized due to our own trauma being black. And literally it's just being black. It doesn't really take much. Okay. It does not take much. So I just hope like black people, this is not a classic case. This is not another Emmett Till story, in my opinion. This is just a classic case of an interracial couple having two different expectations and cultural norms trying to come together. They're both toxic. I think she's toxic. He's toxic. They're both toxic, trying to come together and be in a relationship. And this is how it ended. You cannot go around roughing up a non-black woman. I just have to be honest with you. And you think that you're just going to get away with it and chalk it up like, oh, I was just trying to get away from her. Like I was just trying to defend myself. That shit is not going to fly because they're going to look at you as a black man and say, you were twice her size. You were twice her size and you're 3 times as strong as her. You should have just walked away. You should have just walked away, but you didn't do that. You decided to shove her back in the car. And we don't know what happened in the car. We only know what happened outside of the car. So you got caught picking her up and shoving her back into the SUV and then taking her phone and running down the street. And then in text, you decided to threaten to unalive yourself to gain control over her from a distance. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I was questioning, I'm like, why is this woman running blocks? Like this woman, like they both ran like 5 blocks. She's in heels. I'm thinking to myself, like as a woman, if I'm running 5 blocks in some heels, girl, it must be something serious. Like I'm not chasing after a man for 5 blocks just to get my lick in, girl. It would have clicked in like, girl, you tripping, girl. We in these damn shoes, girl. We not about to do this right now. So he had her phone though. And I could see why she was chasing him for as long as she was chasing him in heels, trying to get her phone back. Cause 5 blocks in heels, y'all, that's crazy. And then he was running fast. That man was running, okay? I would have been like, oh no. I don't know. So I have to be real with you, y'all. Like, it's just no. Like, this is not. I'm sorry. This is not a classic a white man and a white woman and a black man. Like, this is just the difference between white culture versus black culture, and the jury happened to be mainly white, and this is how they judge the situation. This is the conclusion that they came to. This is not y'all trying to turn it into, oh, we need to boycott Marvel. Girl, I'm not boycotting Marvel, okay? I'm not. Because one thing about Marvel, I feel like they try to represent, they're trying to get in the habit of truly representing black people. It's been slow, but they finally getting there. And for a man to be in that position, like they were literally about to build an entire franchise around this man. And he thought choosing a party girl that has a drinking problem as someone that was going to represent him in this franchise, that just wasn't smart to me. He should talk to Denzel Washington, Equalizer. Yeah, they built an entire franchise around Denzel Washington. And you know what? He been married to the same black woman for years. They ain't never had no issues. And you want to know why? Because she understands. Because why? She's a black woman. She gets it. You know who else gets it and it doesn't need to be explained? Savannah James. She knows that because she's with this black man that she has to carry herself a certain way. It's just a conversation that don't need to be had. And it's not even about race. It's not. It's about choosing a quality woman. Choosing a quality woman. That's it. And Savannah James is quality. Denzel Washington's wife is quality. And we've never heard any issues when it comes to these black men and their image. And you want to know why? Because they have women in their corner that just understand. They just get it. Where they don't have to be set down and told, hey, I need you to carry yourself like Coretta Scott King. I need you to carry yourself like Michelle Obama. They're black women They understand your position in society. They understand your position when it comes to the role that you're playing within this franchise with your job title and the status that you carry. They don't have to be explained to them. But a white woman, it's going to have to be explained to her because she's not black. She's just not black. So she's not going to get it. And that's why he ran to Megan Good. I need your help. Please save me. I need your help. Please, I need your help. Please save me. Please save me. Jeezy did too. Nia, I need your help. I need your help. This preference, she's trying to take everything. She's trying to take everything that I own, everything that I've worked for. I need your help. And you know what's crazy? I think there are some white women out here, they care about the black man's plight, but it's not the majority. They don't care about the black man's plight. They don't. They really don't. That's why she went to this extent, you know, like even after the fact, like she pushed it further. She went to the full extent. And you heard her statement at the end. Like, she don't care. These preferences, they don't care. So, a black woman, we would have been like, man, we would have been going back and forth. Just like Megan Thee Stallion, you know, the girl that y'all scapegoated when it came to the Tory Lanez situation and the fact that he was being held accountable by the state of California. But y'all keep confusing the fact that the state of California was holding that man accountable. Not Megan. The state. Yet she's still being scapegoated till this day. And y'all was sitting up here making fun of her. When she was shot that night, she told the police she stepped on glass to protect that man. And it wasn't until he wouldn't stop harassing her. Isn't it like a similar story? It's kind of similar, right? It wasn't until he wouldn't stop harassing her where she was just like, all right, I got to start thinking about myself. I got to start worrying about me. And then it had an effect because he kept hopping online and he kept taunting her and stuff. Then she had to start thinking about herself, her own image, her own brand, her own career, right? So she had to start thinking about herself. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough that she was just quiet and silent about it. He had to taunt her through social media. He had to taunt her with his music. And she wasn't even the one. She wasn't the one that was taking this man to court. It was the state of California. And y'all still scapegoat her. So you want me to feel bad? No, I just feel like tables turn. That's why I don't believe in making fun of people. I don't believe in making fun of people that are in situations that I could be in if the tables just turn. That's it. So let this be a lesson for everyone. All right. I would not make fun of people in situations that are not favorable. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't mock them. I wouldn't get online and write nasty comments about a situation you didn't witness, about a situation you wasn't even there. Like, come on. That's crazy. So when it comes to this situation, like, listen. This is just a classic case of two different cultures with different norms and expectations. That's how I see it. I don't see no Emmett Till. This is not no modern day Emmett Till. And I like, listen, black people, that black card, it's not going to work every time. Like sometimes you just dead ass wrong. Shoving this woman in the car. And now it may not have been intentional, which the jury said that it was not. All right. So he was not guilty for that. But come on now. Come on now. Come on, black folks. Come on now. Come on. We want to be taken serious. We have to look at these situations from a realistic standpoint instead of wanting to pull that black card out like, you know what I mean? It's just not going to work. What else? Oh, like I said, why I do have a question though. I want someone to break this down for me. Why is it okay to rough up a black woman, but it's not okay to rough up a non-black woman? And it's crazy because it's acceptable to rough up a black woman, and she's being I guess she's being tormented about not being feminine enough, right? But it's okay and it's acceptable for a non-Black woman to not be roughed up. Like, she can't be touched at all. And she's feminine, she's fit, she's friendly, she's lovely, apparently. I mean, they keep taking out to the cleaners when it comes to these checking accounts, you know what I mean? But when it comes to these other things, it seemed like there's a struggle. So I just want someone to answer that for me, because that's one thing that I noticed with this situation. I look at the video and I'm like, damn, if that would have been a Black woman just being tossed back in the SUV, I don't think people would bat an eye. But because it was a white woman and she was tossed back up in that SUV, that is an assault. Because worse has been done to us. So worse has been done to us. And we're constantly being questioned why we're not feminine enough. It's crazy. It's very, very crazy. I guess I can just block you myself. It's very, very crazy. Okay, let me move on to my next topic, because there was something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh, this this man right here.
To my Black man, I hope you learned something from this. Like, really learned something from this.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, I wanted to talk about this too. So the Black men who have ruined their legacies, let's talk about it. But he had the worst fumble of the year, or of the century, honestly. In the last decade, I can't think of a worse fumble than Jonathan Majors with the Marvel check. Yeah, I can't either. Like, this is really sad. Yes, thank you, Brandon. We made violence in our community acceptable because of movements like no snitching or being a real ninja or B. Yep, I agree. And other cultures don't see it that way. Other cultures see it for what it is. Just it is what it is. Someone said that this is not a fumble, just classic racism. Jesse Smollett, he was another one. Fumbled a bag. My goodness. Tory also fumbled a bag. And prior, people were saying that he had the world by the balls in 2020. What happened with Terrence Howard? I missed that. How he fumbled his bag? How did Terrence Howard fumble his bag? I must have missed that one. Let's see. The next one. Ooh, Columbus Short. Crazy. I mean, I guess that was racism too. That's crazy. And then Isaiah Washington. How he fumbled his bag? I missed that one too. But I never watched Grey's Anatomy. I never got into that show. Ooh, the baby too. Yeah, the baby. Hold on, I'm sorry. P. Diddy. I mean, my goodness. Listen, I told y'all that the paradigm is shifting. Like that shadow stuff, the abuse, the sexual intimidation, the sexual abuse and trauma and stuff like that's not going to fly. Like that stuff is going to be exposed. You cannot build an empire off of that. All right. Oh, okay. I missed that one. Terrence Howard was on the first Marvel Iron Man and messed it up. I did not know that. That's interesting. R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. I mean, the list goes on, honestly, at this point. And I guess women are to blame. I guess it's women that are to blame. It's crazy how all of those men, right? And all the things that they was out here doing, somehow women are to blame. Interesting. Very interesting to me. I also guess this woman here too. What's her name? Hold on. He may have fumbled his bag too. My goodness. So Anthony Edwards may have fumbled his bag because of his endorsements. his endorsements, girl, they may be coming for him next too. That's why he had to release this statement. Now let's get into it. Anthony Edwards had to issue an apology for telling his little side piece to get an abortion. All women should be empowered to make their own decisions. So he was texting this Instagram hottie, thottie, whatever you want to call her. And I guess she found out that she was pregnant with his baby. You know what's crazy though? Because I was on Amazon and I was like, damn, how much does it cost for you to get a pack of condoms? And so I was like, okay, you could get a pack of Magnum condoms you get a pack of 36 for under $20. I think it was like $17 on Amazon. You can get the Trojan bear skin for under $15. I don't understand. Why is it so hard for men to just strap up? I don't get it. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. It's literally cheaper. And this is why I don't be feeling bad when these situations happen. She got you for $100,000. I mean, if I have to put my body on the line and go through an abortion, I think $100,000 is not enough. I honestly don't even think it's enough. But she was willing to accept that. And so she went and got it, and then he backed out on paying her. Like, and that's what I be saying, ladies. All right. I got to be honest with you too. Yes, he's being reckless, right? He's being reckless. But when it all comes down to it, you are left to always deal with the outcome. They can run off and do whatever and be whatever and go whatever. You will always be stuck. You are the one that's trapped to deal with this situation. You are the one that's trapped to deal with the situation. And then you have to deal with it by yourself, which is why you have to prioritize protecting yourself. Okay? You do. You have to prioritize protecting yourself, because a man can drop off his seed and just skedaddle, and you can never see him again, hear from him. He could disappear off the face of the earth, girl, and you stuck with this baby. You get what I'm saying? So you got to protect yourself as well. You do. It's just how the cards are. You can't change how your body was created versus how his body was created. It's just, it is what it is. So you got to learn how to protect yourself, and maybe you need to go out and buy some condoms too, sis. You know, I was on Amazon. Listen, they got the Magnums for a pack of 36 for about $17. Then they had a pack of 30 Trojans for about $15. Listen, protect yourself, because this is crazy. So she's saying, she sent him a photo of her pregnancy test, and she's saying that I still have an appointment on the 27th. He's responding, and this is how immature they are. This is how immature they are. He's saying, hell no, can't do this. And then she responds by saying, so now what? And then she responds, she has to double text back and say, what a great response. Then he responds and says, get an abortion, LOL. Yes, I agree. They were both being reckless. I agree with that. I agree. Right. Oh, Addie, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Because I don't want these men coming towards me wanting to psychologically and emotionally abuse me. I don't want that. That's why I was like, you won't hear me talking about, oh, they need to come be with a black woman. No, the hell they don't. They need to stay where they at. All right? They need to stay where they at. They need to go where they are and stay where they are at. We do not want these men coming back traumatizing us, because they're not even held accountable to the same degree. So no, I don't agree with that. Thank you for adding that to the commentary tonight. In these scenarios, because it implies that it's okay to mistreat a black woman, but the white woman knows better and will report. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, their standards culturally are different, which is why he was held accountable in the way that he was held accountable. So then same thing with him though. He responds by saying get an abortion, LOL. And then she responds, honestly, I had an abortion with my son around 2 years ago and I regret it every day. And then he responds by saying, man, you can't force a kid in the world. You don't know what it is yet. And then she responds saying, that's not the point. I said I had an abortion 2 years ago and I regret it. Yeah, but I don't want a kid. And I have to be honest with you. I have to be real with you, ladies. If you know you had an abortion 2 years ago over your son and you regret it every day and you're still out here not protecting yourself, that is insane. Okay, that is insane. That is insane to me. And I understand accidents happen, but I can guarantee this man was not wearing a condom. All right, that man was not wearing a condom. Imagine risking it all for a preference to wash her. Girl, y'all are a mess. Y'all are a mess. So if she knew all of that and she knew she didn't want to have to go through that again, girl, why would first? She need to reevaluate herself as well. Like how he handled the situation was very poor, but she was being just as reckless as he was being. And she need to look in the mirror. He need to look in the mirror. And to be honest, they both need to do better. And let's not forget that depending on the state, she can now be charged for that abortion. That is so true. That is so true. That is so true. That is so true. Thank you for mentioning that as well. So listen, she need to reevaluate her behavior as well, because how he handled it was poor. But girl, if you knew all of this, come on now. I'm not about to read all of this. Okay, how he handled it was just not okay. And then, of course, it's like they always have the same IG story. I've never once ran to the internet about no one. I tried over and over to handle this privately. My efforts were ignored. I've been lied to and manipulated by someone who knows exactly what they're doing and takes no accountability for anything. Okay. So, and then this is why I don't be taking men serious when they be like, I don't like girls with BBLs. Mm-hmm. Y'all see the video. I can't play it, but y'all see the video. Y'all see it, right? You see it. All right. Then he had to release this statement because he was liable for losing endorsement deals. I don't understand. Like, this is my question. This is why marriage back in the day was important when you were a man of status. Now, I'm not going to lie and be like, but these married men, they were faithful. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. But they had a woman that they would marry to be at the forefront of their legacy and their image. They would always choose a certain type of woman to play that role so that she would aid him in making him look and appear a certain way. Okay. But you got to understand that the times are different. The times are changed. These side pieces, these IG models, they're messy. They want to be seen. They want to be known. They want to be heard. They don't know how to handle things privately. And then you don't know how to handle things privately because a smart man would have been texting this woman back, doing whatever she needed done, okay, to ensure that this never made it to the public, because that's how men with high status would handle things. But the arrogance that these men be having is why they keep getting blasted on social media. I mean, every other day. So now this man had to release this statement because, like I said, he could lose a lot of his endorsements, and he still he may be losing some of his endorsements. So he states here, I made comments in the heat of a moment that are not me and that are not aligned with what I believe and who I want to be as a man. All women should be supported and empowered to make their own decisions about their bodies and what is best for them. I'm handling my personal matters privately and will not be commenting on them any further at this time. Crazy. That's a PR nightmare as well. You could tell that was PR. I know that man did not write that, but hey. I also wanted to mention, did y'all see the situation with P. Diddy and Young Miami? I think our girl has finally separated herself from this mess. I think she has finally decided to just separate herself. I really don't see anyone talking about it, but Diddy refollows old fling who previously had words with Young Miami. And according to the blogs, Carisha has deleted all photos of this man off her Instagram. Okay, let's look. She deleted everything. It's just her and her kids. She has deleted everything. Okay. There's no trace of that man. There is no trace of this man at all on her Instagram. So, and then he refollows Gina, but Gina didn't follow him back. So I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. But Gina, I don't know. Gina was his ex-girlfriend, side piece girl. I don't know. She was the girl that was waiting around for him to basically like marry her. She been around. She like the girl that just she want to be picked. So she just hanging around until he picks her. And I guess now that his empire is crashing and burning, he's now picking her. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, she's definitely the placeholder. So I don't know. And then y'all, have y'all looked back at some of the things that Carisha would be saying? Like she said, this happened months ago, or maybe even a year ago. If I wanted you to eat my punani, Diddy would have had you on your knees. You would eat her. And it's like, after what I know with the situation with Cassie, I don't know how to feel about that. You know what I mean? I don't know how to feel about that. And then she went on to say, you want a baby B. I have career. You a certified freak. You haven't heard from Diddy since the awards, reminiscing on abortions. Let that hurt go, Chung Lee. And, you know, and then this, her. And then I guess this is at the time where Carisha probably didn't know that he had a baby on the way, and she posted and said, was she beefing with you over a ninja, but the whole time he got somebody else pregnant?
Doing all this shit, you stupid bitch.
And then Carisha got quiet. All right, well, that's pretty much all for this video. That's all I got, y'all. But I don't know. I just don't read them tweets the same after learning about Cassie. I just don't, girl. I don't. But yeah, girl, I told y'all Carisha should have never got involved with P. Diddy publicly. If she wanted to get involved with him behind the scenes to help elevate her career and get Carisha pleased, cool. But doing it publicly, now she has to rebrand. She's going through a PR nightmare, and she's using her kids to clean up her image, by the way. Y'all noticing that? Y'all noticing, y'all seeing her kids more, and you're going to continue to see her kids. Her kids are going to be seen. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? So she been with her kids a lot. All right. She been with her kids a lot. So you're going to continue to see them chirp because she got to clean up her image now. She linked up with this man, and his empire is crashing and burning. People are turning on him. And yeah. That's all that I have regarding this video. Give this video a thumbs up. And I hope to see you in my next one. Let me know if there's something else that you would like for me to talk about in the comment section. Bye. Good night. Or good morning.